Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So up till now, what we were doing in the analysis, we have just simply imported out our all of the libraries which we will be using up to the complete analysis, right? So not all libraries, but yeah, the initial libraries which we'll be requiring, we have just imported those ones. Um, Maybe the detailed and the ones which we're using for machine learning, ML algo, that we'll be importing up in some time. Okay, so yeah, I have imported up the libraries which we will be using up. So here we are having the style set down, so, right, the parameters we are having here for the set down and everything, right? So now after that, what we did, we simply read out our data which we were having. Fine. So we got, this is all our data. About the shape for my data is 2,90,627 rows and 31 columns. So this is the complete shape of my data, right? I would be working on this shape of my data further. Then we checked out that do you have any null values, true or false, and even we check do you what's the sum of the null values which you are having, right? So yeah, we just figured out that okay, down the line we are having a few of the null values for the things. Now even I want to check some info about, so I would just write df.info. This function will try to tell us that what column is what data type, even, right? And even it will help us to get in some info about our data. So from here I can check about the columns. So non-null values, so we know that okay, down we are having a few columns which are having some null values. But what one thing we are having up, that all the data type is float only. Wait, we are evil here that all the data type is float. It means that whatever the columns we are having into our complete data, right, that all of my columns are decimal values, those are storing, those are having some decimal values into it. Now I want to have some statistical info about all of my columns, my numerical columns which I am having up here. Statistical information as in I want to have the info about the maximum and the minimum values, maybe the mean and the median values and all those things. So what I would just do, I would now start with the writing up of the stuff. So okay, we would just do df.describe, okay, and the bracket like this. So this describe function, it will actually help me to get in a lot of information about my data. See, for let's say for one of my column, I'm just trying to help you to get in the complete information. Let's say for one of my columns is time, right? So we are having that okay, this is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. Fine. I want to find the mean, so let's say this is the mean. We also have the standard deviation, we also have 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 75 percentile, all these values we are having. Same goes for V1, we are having up the minimum and we are having up the maximum. For V2, V3, V4 up till end amount and up till class. For everywhere we will be having up the minimum and a maximum value for all of these particulars, right? Now this is what my describe function actually helps me to do. It actually helps me to get in the information about my statistical information about my complete data which I have. Right, next we're having count underscore classes. Now that is one of the variables which we are right now making, and I would just now try to make up a plot over here with my matplotlib library, okay? So count underscore classes pd dot value underscore counts. Into the bracket I am having df and the bracket is here like class, okay, comma. Next we are having the value as sort and that sort value is equal to true. Fine. So what I am doing up here is that I am trying to count the values with the help of my pandas library under my class column and I am sorting that as true. Okay. Now what next I am doing, next I would be plotting that what kind of a plot I want to make. So it's all like count underscore classes dot plot, right? And what kind of a plot it will be a kind of a bar plot. Okay, and yeah, that's enough. It will be a bar plot. I need to set up a title for this particular one, so I will just write plt dot title. So we are just simply checking in for the class, right? So I would just say frequency of class. Let's say that's the title, right? Now next, let's say I wanted to put up a X label onto my X label, right? My X label is, let's say, class. Okay, so because yeah, we are using up the class column for making up this particular one, so my X label is class. Next is plt dot Y label. So for that we are having frequency. Fine, and let's try to run this program. Okay, now see over here, we have just gotten this particular plot. What I would do, I would reduce the size a little bit first of all, so that the complete graph is visible in one, right? So yeah, this is my complete plot which we are getting up over here, right? This is the frequency of class, the title which we had set down for this respective one. Okay, next we are even having up this class down the side, and then we are having this frequency over here. So it actually tells us about the frequency of the class. Means like in the class, as if you just go over the describe column, here you check for the class. So you are having minimum value as 0 and the maximum value as 1, right? So from that we just got to know that okay, class is the one of the column which is having only two values, either the zeros or the ones, right? Now so as which value is greater, like do we have more zeros or do we have more ones? So we just tried to figure out the frequency for the zeros and the frequency for the ones too, right? So from this particular plot we can very easily and very simply say that okay, the frequency for the zeros is much more than the frequency of the ones, right? So this way actually we even try to figure out that what frequency, or maybe if you are having 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 also any of the data points in any of the column, and it is only restricted to only 3-4 data points in that column. So it is always a good idea that you try to make a histogram or maybe a bar plot, whatever you wish out, and you just try to find out that okay, what is the frequency of that particular one, which is the greatest, means which data point is present more rather than the others, right? Which data point is having the highest value over there. So that are maybe a few things which we are trying to do, or which really once we are up for any analysis or something, or we just go for EDA or something, we just go at this with this one particular thing for sure. So as into my data, it's very clear that okay, the class is the 0, right? That particular class is having up a very high frequency rather than my class 1, right? Now 1 second, I would just zoom in this now. Yeah, so that was the reason I had used out this describe function, right? And see, we just don't do analysis for the sake of writing up the functions or maybe writing up more cells of code, right? We do this respective functions, we try to use up these functions so as to get some information about our column, right? Like for every single, I just got the minimum and the maximum values, right? For every single column you got minimum and maximum values. So I just checked all over here, and then I find out that okay, class is also one column, so it is having up the minimum value as 0 over here, right? And the maximum value over here is 1. One second, minimum was on the line number 4th. Yeah, here. This is my minimum value and this is my maximum value. This is what we have gotten from this particular thing, minimum and the maximum. Fine. So now it's a better idea, and even it's a good idea to go ahead and check out that how many ones or how many zeros are present up into this particular column. The reason is for checking so that we can further into our analysis consider that particular thing and go with that particular thing, right? See, as in under the amount, the minimum value is 0 and the maximum value is 25,691.16, right? So for all the other columns also, there is somewhat the same thing. The values are in minus and they are ranging up till positives. So this particular data which we are having, this data starts from the negative values and goes up till the positive values, ranges up till positive values, right? So this is kind of a little trickier data rather than the Titanic one which we would have taken. The Titanic, which a previous analysis which we have done, that was a little simpler one because it was even a small data. It was that much of it was having categoricals, numericals both, but this respective data, credit card fraud detection, this is complete you can say complete a numerical data, right? So it's a little difficult many a times to deal out with the numerical data. So I hope we are pretty clear about this respective frequency of the class plot, this bar plot which we had made up right away, and why did we do so. I hope we are pretty clear with that particular thing also. So now further we'll be seeing up in the next video. So if you enjoyed this video, do share this video with your friends, to like this video, and do not forget to subscribe about my channel. We'll see you there in the next video.